In this video, I'm going to be telling the story of how Donald Trump was involved in the ill-fated filming of a music video for the all-girl glam metal band Precious Metal. This is a story of money, metal, sexual harassment, and general Trumpness. This is the story of Precious Metal's Mr. Big Stuff.
Mr. Big Stuff, tell me, who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? You're never gonna get my love, Mr. Big Stuff. You're never gonna break my heart, Mr. Big Stuff. You're never gonna make me cry.
Precious Metal was an all-girl rock band formed in 1983 after Suzette Andres, who was a drummer, placed an ad in a local music magazine. While Suzette Andres would leave to join the band Wildheart instead, the rest of the band's lineup cemented, with Leslie Nauer on vocals, Janet Robin on guitar, Maria Fox on guitar, Julia Ferry on bass, and Carol M. Control on drums. The guitarist Janet Robin even received guitar lessons from the Quiet Riot and Aussie legend Randy Rhoads. Precious Metal eventually got signed to the label Polygram/Mercury, releasing their debut album in 1985, entitled Right Here, Right Now, with the lead single Bad Guys.
Bad guys, that's who wish you never made us, those bad guys.
This was followed by two more albums, That Kind of Girl in 1988 and the self-titled album Precious Metal in 1990. It was with this self-titled album that our story begins. The album features two covers, one of Springsteen's Two Hearts, a version which he allegedly praised personally, and another of the soul classic Mr. Big Stuff, which was made famous by the soul singer Jean Knight in 1971 and released on Stax Records.
The big stuff. Who do you think you are? Mr. Big Stuff.
By 1990, the style of big-head glam metal was starting to wane in popularity. Grunge was on the horizon, so to speak. And in 1991, Precious Metal's then label, Chameleon Records, wanted to film a music video for the single Mr. Big Stuff, with the hopes of getting that all-important MTV airplay and bolstering sales. And what better way to attract MTV's attention and guarantee that airplay than by having a celebrity in the video? First, they approached Danny DeVito, who declined. They then approached Andrew Dice Clay, who declined. And finally, they approached Donald Trump, who accepted on the proviso that he would be paid $10,000 to donate to a charity of his choice, an amount which, as the Washington Post discovered, is equal to all of his findable donations in the past 7 years. The music video is written to have the band members lecturing Trump to the song's empowering lyrics, and at one point tearing up a record contract in Trump's face. When Trump turned up for filming, at first everything seemed great, as Leslie Nauer remembered, he knew all the words, and I thought, he's got a good sense of humour. After the scene in which they rip up the contract, Trump apparently gestured, "That's just what my wife did to me," shook their hands, and at the end said, "This is great, let's take this to #1. Though, reflecting back on the experience, Nauer said in an interview that his conduct towards the guitarist Janet Robin was very inappropriate. Trump reportedly put his arms around her and said, "Oh, hard body, no cellulite," with Janet having to rebuff his advances. And then, after the editing was completed, Donald Trump was shown the video, since he had not yet signed the release forms allowing his appearance to be lawfully used. And after watching the video, he believed he'd been misled. He thought that this was meant to be a minor part, when in fact he had a central role in the video. So instead, he demanded $250,000, and later said in the press to Entertainment Weekly that their song, "It's not good music, but if they come up with the money necessary, I'll reconsider." Now it told Billboard, more recently her side of the story, that the mix-up was, well, it was a lie. That Trump had the script, he played all the parts, shot them, so later to say, "I thought I was only going to be in one part," Then why did you shoot all those parts? We were just a struggling band, wondering why he would do that to us. He just full-on lied. This amount of money was far too extortionate for Chameleon or Precious Metal to pay up. As a result, the band were forced to re-record the video with a stand-in look-alike from behind. But without Trump, the video received little airplay, and eventually the band was dropped from Chameleon, never releasing another studio album again. As Leslie put it, it didn't end our band, but it didn't help. It hurt our label's support for us. But why did this series of events really unfold? Did Trump just hate glam metal that much? Did he really feel that he was that misled that he deserved such a huge amount of money more? Well, Leslie Nauer alleges from information that she had after the fact that Precious Metal were not the intended target. Instead, they were collateral damage in a fight between Trump and the Pritzker family.
And I think, and I might be wrong, but I heard this later on from other rich people, that the Pritzker family was going to maybe buy the Trump shuttle. And so they said, why don't you be in my son's record label's all-girl band video? And then we'll buy the Trump shuttle.
Jay Pritzker was the co-owner of the Grand Hyatt Hotel in New York with Donald Trump, and his son, Danny Pritzker, ran Chameleon Records. At this time, Trump's airline, the Trump Shuttle, was failing, and Trump was desperate to sell. And Trump was under the impression that Jay would buy the airline if Trump did the video. So Trump did the video, and then apparently said to Jay, "You gonna buy it?" To which Jay Pritzker said, "No, fuck you." So it seems that Trump then decided to spite Jay in return by commanding an astronomical fee to which his son Danny's label could not possibly afford for Trump's likeness in the video. Though there is a somewhat happy ending to this story, that in 2014, after years spent apart, several of the members did reunite for a breast cancer benefit, and this rejuvenated the band, who decided to stay together, and they're still playing live music to this day. They recently supported Vixen on some US dates. That was the story of how Donald Trump ended a glam metal band. This has been TheAIbumMan. Thank you for watching, comment, rate, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.
You think I can afford